It was good living in Harvey, Illinois. I learned the finer things in life. I learned it's another side. I learned that it's other things going on besides living in the projects. But I always went back to the projects. I find time in the summertime. I go stay with my family, my friends. I loved it to be in the projects. So we was living it up like the Jeffersons, and then our house caught fire. And we didn't have nowhere to go, nobody to live with. We was sleeping in the car. Me, my moms, my brother, and I got to show respect to my stepfather, Earl. Earl played a big part in my life. I'm not saying he was the best father, but he is what we had. He the one that took us to the drive-in to see the movies. He the one that took all us out to eat, even though it was a hole in the bottom floor of Earl's car. And you could see the ground while he driving. But we made a way. We hid in the trunk when we went in the drive-in, man. I love Earl. We had nowhere to go, so I stayed with my auntie for a while. And then I ended up staying with my cousin them in the projects, the Robert Taylors. The Robert Taylors always been home to me. Plenty people in the Robert Taylors, Vulture City, 43rd, 49th, 51st, all of them to this day when they see me, they think that I'm from the projects. But I wasn't from the projects. I was from the Valley, 47. But they didn't know that. Well, I'm originated from the low end. Because I came from the Darrell homes. In the beginning of the story, I told you that. But yeah, we didn't have nowhere to stay, so I bounced around here and there until my mom's found us somewhere to go. And she ended up finding an apartment on 54th and Carpenter, which is Moe Town. Now, if you're from Chicago, you know Moe Town is different than where we come from the low end, from around the disciples, the gangsters. Like, it's the opposite. So we moved to Moe Town. I ended up going to Sherman Grammar School. I had some good times in Moe Town, and I had some bad times. Now, it was a guy that came from the projects. His name was John. They called him DJ in Moe Town. And he was one of the most vicious stones in Moe Town. And John came from where we came from, 3833 South Langley. So when John found out we lived over there, John came around. So then none of the stones want no smoke. Like literally, because John was one of them dudes, like literally, man. And my family, my whole family, I always been like that. We had one problem with the Stones. And that was for serving on their land. And I never forget Alibaba, the JBs, they was down the street from us. And they told the Stones, no, they in tune with us, Mo. So we didn't really stay in Moe Town that long, just a couple years. Like 2 years we stayed in Moe Town. Then we moved to the Valley, to 49 in Champlain. 4853 to be exact, is where it all began. My grandmother already stayed over there. My cousins and them, they already stayed. I used to be over there already. So before I even go over there, I plugged in with the Valley on 46 in Evans. One of the OGs, no need to say his name, he blessed me in and I was plugged. But now I live over here. And this is where it all began. I'm the first one. It's nothing to be proud of. I'm the first one over there on Champlain in my building, 4853, that was selling drugs. I was the first. I started it all. And my building ended up turning into the Carter, where it ended up turning into plenty of people coming over there making money. I remember I used to Cause I love the projects so much. So I could remember that I kept going to the projects to chase the girls, to be over there with my cousin and them, to the point my money wasn't coming in, so I'm missing money. So I decided to give my sister Margaret my bundle and tell her to sell it for me. While me and cuz then we ride around and smoke and do shit like that. And she ended up getting her own stuff, messing with this guy named Cody, and ended up sliding his stuff in. I never forget that, man. To this day, Cody, that's my brother-in-law. She had kids, man. He's a good guy. But that's where it all started at. Right there, 48 in Champlain, 48, 53. And it was all because of me. You know what I'm saying? People lost their lives. People made a lot of money. You know, my brother, my right hand, may he rest in peace, my brother Terrence. We're going to get into that story too. He wrote Dirty Low in the middle of the street. And that's what everybody started calling it. But before then, it wasn't Dirty Low. We was just a low-end valley, everything valley. At one time, Valley had 82 or 83 blocks. When I say I'm the state to the lake, I mean that. I was state to the lake. I stayed on State Street 24/7, and I stayed on 47 24/7 from the lake back to State Street, state to the lake, boys. That was us. Now we here. This is part 5, 5417 Moe Town. Get ready for part 6, man. It's gonna be deep. Y'all get ready. It's about to go down.